What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another SandStorm Meetup. Hope we're having a great Thursday. Today, we are joined by the team over at Raven Quest. How you guys doing today?
Hello, guys. We're doing fine. Hope
I
you all are doing fine.
I really appreciate you guys coming on the show today. I usually like to start out with an introduction. I guess tell me a little bit more about yourselves. How you got into Web3 and what role you guys play on the Raven Quest team.
Sure, let's go. So thank you very much for setting up this AMA. It's a pleasure to meet you all and to be here talking about NFT gaming in general and about Raven Quest, the game that we have carefully developed over the last years. I really hope that you all have a great time here in this conversation, and I hope that we can pass on some of the passion we have for this game to you. So first of all, yeah, let me introduce myself. My name is Vitor, as known as Neos on the community, and I am the senior community manager for Tavern Light Games, which is the studio behind Raven Quest. I have been working at Tavern Light for 2 years now, almost 2 years, but the studio has been on the road for more than 7 years now. The last five has been dedicated to creating the Raven universe, including Raven Quest.
Mm-hmm.
And here with me, we have Luis, our market analyst. Luis, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. Hello to everyone. My name is Luis Ibrahim. I am the marketing analyst, more involved in marketing and a lot of data. So thank you for the inviting me. Thank you for the time. Hope you have a great time today here with us.
Yeah, no, really excited to talk to you guys about the game. That's one of the reasons why I love hosting the show. Is that every single time I host, I get to learn about a different project and stuff going on. Raven Quest is a MMORPG game that is on the blockchain. For people watching that might not know what an MMORPG is, I guess if you want to explain that and kind of give maybe some examples.
Yeah, sure. So just to yeah, Ruby Quest, as you said, is a an RPG. I usually say that it is a complete sandbox, free to play MMORPG based on blockchain. We're currently using Polygon as a chain.
Mm-hmm.
So for the graphic side, we are heavily inspired by Tibia and Ultima Online, two iconic games, to bring this nostalgia feeling, right? While the gameplay features are heavily inspired by several other iconic MMORPGs. Like, for example, we can talk more about them later on, but briefly, the trade pack system, for example, uh, is inspired by Arcade. The combat itself is heavily inspired by World of Warcraft. The professions we have on Raven Quest are inspired by Final Fantasy and so on, right? So when I say it's complete RPG, it's because it literally has everything you can imagine from a game. Like you can customize your character, you can create your own build, you can complete several like story quests or dynamic quests. You can engage in activities like fishing, crafting, cooking. You can get together with your friends to create a guild, fight bosses, battle versus other players in arena or open world. We can talk more about that later on because I know it's a very good point for Web3 games, PvP, etc.
Yeah.
That's it. We always like to say that we are game first, blockchain second.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we don't care about the blockchain integration, but because we focus on the gameplay aspects of the game to make it fun before anything else. So we know that the future of Web3 gaming is about quality and ownership, not about like making fake promises of return of investment, for example. Um, but yeah, what I would say here is about Raven Quest is that the development of the game is based on core principle of endless customization.
Yeah.
So the players will be able to customize their characters the way they want, anytime they want. Basically, that's it. And a good example of that is the archetype system that we have. So in other MMORPGs, we have a common like class system, right? Where you choose your class at the beginning of your journey, and you basically get stuck on it for the rest of your journey. In Raven Quest, there's no fixed class. You're not like really forced to stay with a class you have selected at the beginning of your journey. In my opinion, in our opinion as a studio, that's a flaw in terms of game development. So you can actually like choose 3 archetypes, each one with its own skill tree, and you can also change them if you want during your journey. That's just a bit of what Raven Quest really is. As every MMORPG, it is a long-term game. We have a lot of content for you to explore over the months and years, of course, and a lot of content to share and talk about here today as well.
Yeah. Now with the archetypes, you mentioned, like you said, I haven't played too many MMOs. I'm more into like shooter games, but I know a lot of them, like you pick your class when you first start, and a lot of people that play these have to, max rank every single class. You guys are kind of doing it different to where, I guess from what I was reading, does your class change as you play the game and as you progress through?
Yeah. So you select, each archetype has its own skill tree with 12 active skills and 6 passive skills. Okay. When you create a character, you can choose one archetype. Okay, so we have different types of archetypes like archery, wizardry. Some of them are more focused on ranged. Some of them are more focused on magic or melee. And then when you reach level 7, you can select your second archetype. And you can, when you reach the level 15, you can select your third and last archetype. And this basically forms your class. So your character can have 3 archetypes at once, and that's pretty much how you will improve and build your own character. Like choosing skills from those 3 archetypes. But after level 15, if you want to change any archetype, you can.
Yeah.
So that's very important, of course, like the new archetype, because they have they level not as a whole but as archetype. So if you change archetype, the new one will come with level 0, of course level 1. But that's it. That's how the game works.
Do you guys think you guys would ever add any more archetypes as the game progresses?
Oh yeah, definitely. Our creative director and CEO already have plans for that. But right now we are focusing on, of course, we have 8 of them, but we are focused on the game development for official release. So these are things that will come after the official release for sure.
Okay. And do you have a just from the little bit that you've played, do you have a favorite archetype?
Oh yeah, archery is my favorite archetype. Yeah, nice. I like both. Yeah.
Nice. And you mentioned, official release. I'm sure someone at some point in the stream will ask, I guess, are people able to play this right now? And if so, how do they play it? And if not, when will they be able to play it?
Yeah. So we are currently right now the players can access our website, create an account, and play a demo version of the game. Okay, it's a like 5 minutes experience that we have prepared for new players to discover what the game really is, how the combat feels. So players can't really play the game right now because the servers are offline. We had our Raven Quest Alpha at the end of the 2022. Okay, where landowners could be able to play the game and test it for the very first time. And we are currently developing the new features that will come for the closed beta, which will come very soon here. It will be first quarter of the year. So in the next like 2 months, basically, we'll have our closed beta, and basically every landowner will be able to play the game and test it. And after the closed beta, we have our open beta and then official release.
Okay, nice. And then, we can just segue that into land ownership. I guess how many plots of land do you guys have available? And, are you guys currently still doing different sales for this land, or is it all sold out?
Yeah, Luis, can you bring the updated numbers for us?
Yes.
Yeah.
On the
Because on the land,
go ahead.
the how many lands available just yet? Because we started our journey at the beginning of the 2022. Okay. And so far we have reached like amazing numbers. We have more than 20K players on Discord, more than 150K players registered on the newsletter, and we have like partnered up with great companies such as YGGC, Spectre, NGG, Shima Capital, and many others.
Yeah.
So far we had 3 land sales. Okay. The first 2 were limited by supply and exclusive for whitelisted ones. And I believe at that time we sold, if I'm not mistaken, 500 lists,
Yes, exactly.
500 lands. Yeah, we sold out in 4 minutes. Okay.
Nice.
And we had our third one recently, which was not limited by supply but by time, and everyone could participate. And we are working on a nice graphic to share the information about how it was for the community. I believe it will be out next week.
Okay, and as we're seeing right here, the small estate is $84. Would this be a plot of land if someone were want to buy it?
Yeah, so the small state is the cheapest one, of course.
Okay.
It's $84 because it has we have a progressive discount system. Okay, so the land sale we started on round 1 with a 50% discount, round 2 with 40, round 3 with 30, and so on. So until the public sale, but on the website you can go there, you can select on, for example, the benefits of it. You can see there medium state perks, as you can see there, and you see all the perks that this land provides.
But one thing to mention is that the while the lane provides a lot of benefits, everyone will be able to play Raven Quest because the game itself is free to play. But of course, we also want to focus on people that want to invest in the game and bring value to it. We will have a lot of NFTs, different types, but the land will be the main NFT of the game with this limited supply and will impact heavily on the game. But at the end of the day, everyone will be able to play, to experiencing, and to have fun.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, on this part, I'll give my sense here. We actually believe that many of the play nerd games in development right now, they are kind of missing the target market. So the majority of the play nerd market uh, don't have like $1,000 machines.
Yeah.
They are running off like basic devices. So the play nerd games needs to evolve, but accessibility is still a key point to mass adoption, right? So especially in the play nerd market. So Raven Quest is free to play because of that. We want to make it easy for everyone to test a good game and to make the transition from Web 2 to Web 3, right? And about this part of transitions, we have Rivendell as well. I don't know if you guys already saw what Rivendell is, but we can talk more about that if you guys want.
one curiosity, we already tested Raven Quest. It literally runs on a Raspberry Pi computer, so it, it will be available for everyone to play it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, that is important. You want to have a player base, and I mean, $84 for a small estate, I wouldn't say is a large barrier of entry. I think giving the benefits from what I was reading in the white paper of owning land. If you're gonna play the game and be on it often, $84 is like going to a GameStop and buying a PlayStation game. It's not too bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, there are a lot of advantages to owning land, such as one of the biggest ones I saw was, I guess, farming. You're able to farm if you own land.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually have 5 types of NFTs in Raven Quest. The most important one is lands. There are 5 sizes of land available in Raven Quest: small, medium, large, stronghold, and forts. And yeah, the players can claim a plot of land visually basically anywhere in the game. Okay, and they can engage in some activities like farming, husbandry, crafting, breeding, which allow them to collect resources with time. and craft trade packs. One of the things they can do is craft trade packs, and we can talk more about that later on, because trade pack is the core of the economic system of Raven Quest. Is where the most part of the gold is generated. And so that's why land is very important in Raven Quest. You can, of course, if you want to play, you don't want to buy a land. That's fine. You'll be able to play it. And we have like a community farm where players with no land can engage in few activities as well. Okay, but land is very important because it allows for a better experience of farming, husbandry, crafting, etc.
Yeah.
And it will all allow the player to have like passive gold generation, and also with implemented scholarship system. It's not actually like a scholarship, because you actually don't need to like have all the experiences the player needs to do all this complex form. You will be able at our marketplace to rent your land. So for example, you are not playing for 1 week, or you have more land than you can play it, you can put your land, you can rent it, and you'll be able to generate gold even without actually be playing it, but you own that asset is your. So we don't see why not we should not able to sell it if you want, but also rent it if you want to see fit. And also you can just run a scholarship on your own or integrate it on the game.
Nice. Yeah, because that gives other people that can't buy like the fort or stuff like that, an ability to contribute, to the game and earn those crops or different things in the game, like you said. I mean, I could just picture somebody literally getting on and farming and then selling the stuff that they farm to people, and then they don't do PvP or anything like that. They're just a farmer.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Like you can play, you can have your own play style. That's our point here.
Yeah.
And the jetpack system, of course, is the most important one. If you guys want, we can talk a bit about how it works here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So when designing the economy of Raven Quest, we know that like economies can make or break MMORPGs, right?
Yeah.
And when we talk about economic cycles, we need to make sure that that's perfect. The trading cycles there. Yeah, we need to make sure that we're not talking about just like getting coins or trade between players, but also like the whole flow of items itself, the equipments inside the game, right? And when designing the economy of Raven Quest, we knew we would have to find a system that would be completely controlled by the market itself, not the company, the studio.
Yeah.
So a system that would be self-sustaining and self-balancing as well. And of course, when you hear that, there's nothing better than to basically replicate what we already have in the current market, which is a system based on demand and supply. Okay, so that's how trade backs work. While we are playing Raven Quest, you can engage in activities like crafting, farming, gathering, as we mentioned before, and to get several different types of products and resources. Okay, you can use those products to craft your own equipment. You can sell them to other players directly or on the auction house, for example, or you can go to a specific NPC. You can put them together to craft a package. In this package, known in game as a trade pack. Okay. So trade packs are basically the best way to generate gold in Raven Quest. And they are a package of different combinations of materials like eggs or lumber, milk, and others that can be crafted and transported to trade posts to sell and obtain gold. Okay,
Yeah.
so like each trade post, which is on the NPC stays, has a demand and a supply system. So when a certain type of trade pack, for example, is being more traded between those posts, the demand for the resource for this trade pack goes down. Okay, and of course, the amount of gold earned from selling these packs goes down as well. Okay, In the same way, like when a trade post is traded with more players, the demand for the products goes down, and they will pay less gold as well, and vice versa. If no trade pack has been traded there, the demand goes high and more gold is earned. So uh, yeah, we if you go to our website actually, and you click on tab news, you'll be able to check out. We have a Medium article there explaining how it works like perfectly, everything about how it works actually.
Yeah, one thing that I will always love to mention here, because a lot of people, we have two type of players, right? Players that love PvP, that want to do PvP all the time, and players that do not want to do PvP. They just want to play the game, to enjoy its farm. And on Raven Quest, players will be able to do that because we have zones. For
Mm-hmm.
example, if you are trade post, that trade post can be on a non PvP zone or in a PvP zone, because they are alternating. Not everywhere in the map is PvP and not everywhere is PvE. But what happens? If the zone is PvP, players can engage in combat, and if you die with a trade pack, you lose your trade pack.
Oh
So you
wow.
choose to go there, and but why would player would choose to have a chance to drop it is because, like Vitor mentioned, if less trade packs are being delivered there, the price of it will go up. So if you want to engage on PvP, you need to be ready, because a lot of other players will be able to fight for you for your trade pack, but the rewards are higher than non-PvP zones. So that's why it is a self-balancing zone. And like you mentioned, MMORPG, they have its own economy. Sometimes, even from one server to another, the economy is totally different. But with this system, we can have a self-balance system on supply and demand, and it will auto-governate itself.
Yeah. Now, are,
Yeah,
are trade packs the only items that you drop when you die, or do you drop other items as well?
yeah. Currently, packs are the only items that you drop when you die. Yeah, because I mean, like you can be carrying a lot of trade packs, and that's basically means gold and of course SBT. So that's an important thing. Okay, uh, but yeah, for now it's just trade packs.
Yeah, another NFTs in the games are the mounts and the ships and wagons, and it's allow you to carry more trade packs at the same time, or they have stats, so you can carry more at the same times. You can have more firepower in your ship. So in these PvP zones, guilds can get together. Someone has a better ship for combat, the other have a better ship to deliver trade packs,
Mm-hmm.
and all of these you can do with your friends, your guild, or just run solo. That's your choice. But currently only drops the trade pack.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys plan on adding any other like things that people drop later on, or just you're just gonna stay with trade packs?
For now, it's just trade packs, but of course we can analyze it. We can analyze during the closed beta as well. If we think it's needed for the health of the gameplay as a general, we can of course think about it.
Okay.
Because we are one of a heavily community engaged game, we always love to hear what our community have to say. After every testing phase, we open a feedback where players can give the feedback on what they played, what need improvements, what is good, what is not. While our Discord is open all the time, it's always good to have players to play it, and after it give a more specific feedback. And we are always with this close relationship with the community, adding stuff, seeing what they have to say, to add in the game or not.
Yeah. No, and that's something I love about the space is how connected you can just be with the project founders. um.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it is great. Like getting that, you guys being able to get that feedback, and then also people in the community feeling like their voice is heard, because there's tons of games I play where no matter how much someone complains about something, they never change the one thing everyone's complaining about. They always change five other things.
Yeah, I mean, like that's I always talk about that with the creative director of the game as well. Like that's what makes the product be on the top tier always. You have a product after all. A product is used by users, and you need to listen them. You need to fit your product to their needs. Of course, it won't be good. It won't be on top forever.
Yeah. And then another NFT you guys have in game is the houses. You know, if you're a landowner, you have the ability to build a house on your land. I guess before we talk about what you can do with the houses, do you have to build a house or no? Can you just play the game with no house on your land?
So as I said, you can play the game without being a landowner. Okay.
Yeah.
We have some space where you can like collect resources on open world, for example. But of course, like having a land is very, very important for the gameplay, and when you buy a land, you select it on the map to place it. It already comes with house tier 1. Okay. You can upgrade your house by with gold and some resources you can collect. Okay. And by upgrading it, you can obtain like more rooms. And rooms are basically like the kitchen, which allows you to level up your cooking profession with more bonuses from the open world kitchens. This is how it works. We have like the waving room, the blacksmithing room, the bedroom itself, which allows you for you to teleport to your house. Of course, there is a cooldown, but if you have a bedroom, it allows you to teleport it to your house. So yeah, that's basically how the house works here.
And that's one thing that we always mention, like Nils mentioned at the beginning, the player can be whatever it wants to be. For example, there are players that will be hunting on the open world. If you want to have a land, you can just have your land, be a farmer, have your house, and only work on one profession, be whatever it is. Or you have a guild, you want a member to focus on blacksmithing, to make equipment for everyone, to have better chances at PvP, guild wars. So with the land, with the house, even without it, but better with more resources with it, you can be whatever you want. Because even in farming, you can get experience and be a player that will stack self everywhere you go.
Yeah. Are you able to rent the rooms out in your house? So say, you get a portion of the rewards if someone is leveling up their cooking or their armory or something like that.
For now, not the room itself, but you can rent your whole land.
Yeah.
Okay, that's our goal here. The system is not implemented just yet. We want to make sure it's 100% perfect, but you'll be able to rent your house for a certain amount of SBT or gold for a certain period of time. So if you go like travel, you don't need to worry about your land being inactive or something like that. You can just rent it for the price you want to put it, and player that doesn't have money to buy a house like forever, they can rent it and use it for like 1 week, 1 month, or whatever. But not not a specific room, just the entire land.
Okay.
Yeah, but we mentioned, we also hear the community. If that's something that everyone's want, we always can bring that to the game design team to see if it is good for the economy itself. So we are a game in developing, so a lot of things are able to change until the official launch. But one thing that it is nice to mention is that landowners can play, give feedback. We always implement new stuff all the time, so it is a good thing, good pace for here.
Yeah, and then the next thing I wanted to talk about was the Raven cards. You guys are implementing essentially, I guess, trading cards. There's NFT packs that you can buy. They come with 5 cards each. I really love the idea. I love the artwork of these. What significance do these cards play to the game?
Yeah, so this is my favorite feature of the game, to be honest. So in addition to the lands that we already mentioned it, we also have the Raven cards. They are collectible cards that players can obtain by purchasing the Raven cards, as you mentioned it. These packs gives 5 random cards with random rarities. We have actually right now we have 7 different rarities, and each skill of the game. So we have the archetypes. Each archetype has its own skill tree with 12 active skills. Each skill of the game, you have 2 different Raven cards attached. Let me say like that to it. Okay, related to that skill. So players can open packs, receive the cards, and they can equip those cards on their skills. And the Raven card basically modifies your skill, makes it stronger, or modify the functionality, or adds functionality to that skill. If you mean like it adds a lot for your character, you know. So you can create like unique builds for sure. Even
Yeah.
like if your friend choose the same archetype, is at the same level with the same skills, etc., the same equipment. Let's say it's almost impossible to happen, but let's say it's like that. We also have the Raven cards that have a big influence on combat
Hmm.
to differentiate, right? So Raven cards, I would say, it's one of the most important things for players that love to engage in combat, and of course PvP, be it open world or arenas, because the player that finds the best build, or the perfect build with active skills and the perfect Raven cards for that will be very, very good, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and as far as I guess the collectability of them, is there going to be, different series that you guys do where, like, say, the first packs of cards you release, there's a limited number of them, and then you guys go on to another series of cards. So then that
Yeah,
way, I
so
guess early adopters have the early cards.
yeah, so we have like the basic cards, which like will never change. The illustrations will be the same. Like everyone that opens the pack will be able to get them.
Yeah.
But we also have limited cards with different illustrations. Okay, so we already had some giveaways for the community where we had like a specific illustration for a Raven card. Uh, and functionality as well that is like only 20 units, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, we definitely have those more limited cards for sure.
Nice, nice. And will packs be able to be earned through? I guess will you be able to buy them with gold from in the game, or will this just be strictly like a different thing that people buy with
Yeah,
like Matic or something like that?
yeah, for now our goal here is we have our marketplace, okay,
Hmm.
and players will be able to buy it on the marketplace using the our own token. So that's of course that's to give utility to the token as well,
Yeah.
and that's how it works. So players can buy Raven perks on the marketplace using some break tokens.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, just finding different things that people can use for the token, because a lot of issues that play and earn, a lot of the earning games that people have had is if the token doesn't have value, then a lot of people won't play the game. So I like that at the beginning you said you guys are focusing on the gameplay first, and then blockchain second, because you want to have a game that people play, obviously, but you have different things like cards that people can get, and they can throw their tokens
Yeah,
at it instead of just cashing out. It definitely helps the economy a
and
lot.
that's kind of why we didn't release our marketplace just yet,
Yeah.
because we want to give like full utility to our token. So we know we are not very, very close to the official release, and it wouldn't make sense for us to just release a marketplace now and then we wait like 3 4 5 months for the official release, you know. So we want to make things closer to each other. We release the marketplace, release the token, the marketplace, and then we release the game, like because we feel that's the right thing to do, you know.
Yeah.
And one thing about tokens too, we while you want that everyone be able to play it, even the free player, if you want like you like this competitive aspect of the game, if you want to be a top tier player with the best equipment all the time, you found the best combination, but your equipment can break and you need to repair it and you will spend token. So if you want just to play the game like a more casual, you can. But competitive players that we know there are one big aspects of every game. Even MMORPG is the biggest one that have like bigger guilds that even migrated to other games. That player will need to spend some SBT. You can see that we have 3 cycles on repairing equipment is one of them. You need sometimes you deliver a lot of trade packs. Your MOA, that is your amount, it can die, so you need to resurrect it. You spend SBT. So that's why we have a complex system on spending SBTs too, because why we want everyone to have fun, we need to have a stable economy, and that it comes from getting tokens, but also spending tokens. So there's a different
Yeah.
gameplays, but it impacts heavily on the game too, you know. So
Mhm.
we want a lot of mechanics to be able to burn the token, to give utility, to give value. So if you want your token and you want more competitive, you can do that, you can be that, and you can engage in various activities, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
nice.
have like three main economy cycles. We say that. First one is about combat and equipment. The
Mhm.
second one is about trading and trade packs. And the third one is about workers, which we can talk about them as well. Um, we will likely have another one based on guilds content.
Yeah.
Very, very important aspect of the game as well. But as those cycles are very complex to explain with words, we made graphics to explain it, to better explain it, and they are all on the white paper. So if you guys want to check there, it's there. I believe the tab is named Economy Cycles. You can go there and check all the three main economy cycles. But what I can say here is that we know that burning mechanics are important.
Yeah.
Uh, we also know that for someone to get something from the game, someone else has to spend. That's a reality. We can't deny it. And the development of the game so far is being focused on it.
And
Yeah.
one thing, sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, you can go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
One thing that we also know that from MMORPGs are games that are lasting, right? It's not one game that comes like every month or two, because it is the reality of self of MMORPGs.
Mhm.
That's why we have a 5 years roadmap too, and we will deliver other games that will use the same NFTs that you own on Raven Quest. Of course, are not in the same structure, are smaller games like a card battle that we use your Raven cards, but it is also to the aspect that the asset is yours.
Yeah.
So you own it, you deserve to get everything that we produce from it. So you will be able to use your NFT on Raven Quest and the other games that we produce as well on down the road, and give more value to it, more aggregated value to it. So
No, yeah, that's great. I love to hear that. There was something I wanted to talk about on the bottom of the roadmap. There was a dragon, and then there was like another image that we looked at. It said, you know, we didn't talk about breeding. There was something about breeding, and there was an egg. Like, are people able to breed dragons in this game?
Uh, not dragons, unfortunately. Uh, another NFT that we have are the MOAs, which are our mounts. So
Yeah.
the breeding profession is related to MOAs. That's yeah, that's on the screen right now. Perfect. So basically, uh, MOAs allows for players to move around the map faster. Okay.
Hmm.
And so players can buy an egg on the marketplace or just breed them on their land, and can of course also trade MOAs of different rarities as well. The MOAs come with wagons, okay, wagons that allows for carrying more for carrying stuff potential. I would say like that, like basically trade packs. Okay, so if you are walking with a trade pack without MOA, you can carry only one trade pack, and your character will move very slowly. But if you have a MOA, of course, you can move around faster. And if you have a MOA pulling a wagon, you can, let's say, depending on the rarity of your MOA, you can carry like not just one, by 5 or 10 trade packs at once.
Okay.
So that's very, very important because you receive gold basically from trade packs. Okay, and if you can like carry 10 trade packs at once, that saves a lot of time for, so yeah,
It could
that's how
cost a
we
lot of time too if you die out in the wild. You know, you got your
yeah,
wagon out
exactly.
there.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
high risk,
Yeah.
high rewards, right? Depending on your gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I played RuneScape a little bit when I was little. I just always remember going out in the wild and just dying and losing everything.
Yeah, no, RuneScape is a great MMORPG, man. Yeah.
You said we could talk about the workers. So I guess, if you want to talk a little bit about the workers, what role they play in the game. I know there's 5 different classes of workers.
Yeah, sure. So basically, we almost mentioned it every NFT we have on the game. We mentioned it about lands, Raven cards, MOAs, and wagons, and we have the MOAs, the workers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the workers can help you to do some activities in game. They come on the Raven packs as well. Okay, and they can help you to do some activities in game, such as like farming, gathering, while you're not actively playing. Okay, so of course they have stamina and their own cycle on the economy cycle, but they are a very good feature to make sure. To make the game more dynamic as well. Okay, so let's say that you have a worker that can handle gathering. So you plant something, and a few hours later, if the worker is fine to do his activities, he'll go there and gather stuff for you, and maybe plant more seeds.
Yeah. So these are going to be like NPCs in the game.
Not really, not really. They won't be NPCs in game. They won't. They will be just cards that you equip, and we have like automated functions for them. But they won't like really appear on the game.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
And then is there? I guess what's like the main differences between the a human, elf, dwarf, giant, or goblin?
Yeah. So this is more like technical questions for our creative director.
Yeah.
I would because works are not implemented just in game just yet. Okay, they will come for the open beta if I'm not mistaken. So this one I would like to take note and talk to the creative director, and then bring an accurate answer when possible. If you guys want, you can join our Discord and send the question there. I'll be happy to answer that when I have the answer.
I was gonna say, yeah, everyone watching, any questions you guys have, or you guys are interested in playing the game, make sure to join the Discord. Obviously, the Raven Quest website, that's where you can find the white paper. We've been linking it in the chat as the show's been going on. Something that I think is really important when it comes to blockchain gaming, and I guess just normal non-blockchain gaming is trying to get the traditional gamers to get over to the blockchain, because the blockchain is scary to a lot of people. What different things are you guys doing, I guess, to try and bridge the gap?
Yeah, so this is very important for us as well. We can talk a bit about Rivendell here as well, because it helps bridging the gap. So of course, the studio is 7 years old. And the last 5, as I mentioned, it has been dedicated to creating the Raven universe. But of course, like 5 years ago, we didn't know what blockchain would become, right? And even less the possibility of the Web3 gaming scenario, right?
Yeah.
So we started our journey on the traditional game development market. For example, like at the time, the studio had 10 employees, and now we have more than 70, all fully focused on developing these new MMORPGs. So at that time, like 5 years ago, we had only Rivendell as a title. Rivendell is the Web2 version of the game. Okay?
Yeah.
This is very important for us to mention. So we made Rivendell public in 2020, and it grew like exponentially in an organic way. In the middle of 2021, several players from our community with more than 20k members on Discord at the time, they started to see the Web3 gaming scenario, and they started to ask us if we wouldn't create a blockchain version of Rivendell, because they already loved the game and they knew it could work. Okay, we started to receive like several requests regarding that, and me as a community manager, I passed on the idea to the team, and we started to analyze the market itself to understand if it would make sense for us to create something for blockchain.
Yeah.
And of course, like what we saw on the market at that time was not good. Like 99% of the projects were like scams or games with clear fake promises that we as a game developers we know that it would be possible to achieve, like oh, we would develop a full new MMORPG in 6 months. Well, man, that's not how it works, you know.
Yeah.
And we looked back into our project Ravenau at that time, and we knew we had like a solid game with an existing demand from the community, which is very important. But most importantly, we had our game with almost all features of Ravenau that would fit perfectly for blockchain, like the
Hmm.
land system, the MOAs, etc. Um, so yeah, after a few months studying the market itself, we decided to fork the project into two. So we kept Rivendell as a traditional Web two RPG game because we already had an existing community, and some players of that community didn't want the Web three a Web three game. That's fair, you know. We understand that not everyone is with the mindset just yet,
Hmm.
and we created Raven Quest as the Web3 version of it. So yeah, maybe some of you may think that this kind of divides the community, but the numbers so far show that actually it doesn't, and that's exactly what you asked. So in the future, we see Raven DAO as a good bridge between Web2 and Web3. In the end, it's all about making that transition, right? And we understand that if players know Raven DAO, they will of course know Raven Quest as well in the moment. And if they want to make the transition, it will be way more easy for them to make the transition because they already know the game. The aspects of the game, the gameplay features are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Basically, the combat itself, etc. So that's how we see it right now. We are very happy with that in terms of having the Web two version as well to make that bridge and to bridge that gap. You know.
Yeah.
And that thought, like, I already played this game, and if I continue play that game that is very similar to this one, I can earn, I can have more competitive. So that's one big feature, to have like a solid game with a solid player base.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, it's going to take a couple games to hit the mainstream to kind of get people to be like, all right, I'm going to check out this blockchain gaming stuff. Or because like you said, a lot of the games that were coming out a couple years ago, 99% were scams or just false promises. And, an outsider looking in at that is like, no, oh, dude, these are all scams. I'm not playing that. And, they don't even take the time to look into it. And I think it'll take a couple games to hit mainstream. So
Yeah,
people,
I would say, like, as a CM, as I see things, I would say that we are going through a very important maturing phase here.
yeah,
So like 2021, 2022 was a taste of how this market has a huge potential, of course, but it needs to be well explored by serious companies, serious studios, not by projects that create fear. And
yeah,
of course, like, people right now, they are afraid to invest, and we know that making the transition from Web 2 to Web 3 will be a bit difficult from now on. We understand that. But yeah, as a community manager, I want to make people understand that the Web3 games are not about making money. That's the whole point here. Web3 games are not about making money, but about or flipping the assets, but about a new technology that allows the players to really own the assets
yep,
um, they have. That's the most important thing. So if you play League of Legends, you have the skins there, nice, etc. But you don't really own the skin,
yep,
and that's the most important thing for us to say to our community as well. So hey, we are here. The Raven Quest is not about making money and flipping assets. Of course, we'll be able to do that if you want, but we want to encourage you to face it as you are the owner of your own asset. That's the most important thing here for us.
Yeah,
100%.
one thing that you already mentioned is the availability of the requirements of the computer. Né? We tested on a Raspberry Pi and we can run it. But other huge barrier for players to join the Web3 scenario is that it's not easy that you can create a wallet, you exchange your coin, take your token, go to another exchange. You need to go to 3, 4 exchanges to get the token of the game. Sometimes that puts a lot of fear. Oh my God, people read on it. I sent to the wrong chain and I lost X amount of dollars. So that puts a lot of players with fear to, oh my God, I want you to invest in the game. I want to buy this asset, but how can I do it? It's difficult. And we have some partnerships that we are building, some already using it, where players can create their wallets using their social media, their Google account, and can easily transfer funds and buy it almost directly on the website without this fear that they need to run from 3 to 4 exchanges to get their token up and then buy the asset. So we want to remove this huge barrier that Web3 gamers have today, but are slowly breaking it, So we focus a lot on that because we saw a lot of new players come to this scenario and say, I want to buy this, but I have no idea how to do that. And that is very bad. We released a lot of content explaining how to connect your wallet, how to create your wallet, what to do this or to do that. But we are slowly implementation stuff that are breaking this barrier and allow players to directly own their asset.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And I just thought about me trying to play Axie Infinity. I'd like make a Ronin wallet, send money over there. By the time I got it up and I was ready to buy my Axies, I was like, now I got to do research on what to buy. Like I'm already just tired of this.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So, yeah. Is there anything you guys feel like we didn't talk about on the show today that you guys would like to talk about?
Actually, like we have, I believe we can talk a bit about the PvP. I believe it's a very important point for us as well, and for the gameplay experiences as a whole. We know that like PvP is a very important part of the gameplay, mainly for a Web3 game, right? So what I can say here is that our creative director, for example, he played Arena on World of Warcraft for years and was like top rank of it. And he also was a pro player of StarCraft. So we understand that the PvP content creates a whole culture around the game. And of course, like this is very, very important for us because after all I want as a game developer is to have a strong community culture, right? So basically, in Raven Quest, we'll have 3 different types of PvP content. Okay, the first one is Arena, where players can join 2v2 or 3v3 battles. And we have arena leaders and tournaments with exclusive rewards, including SBT rewards. We have the open world PvP, as we mentioned a few times here, with the possibility of dropping trade packs. The map, as Luis mentioned, is divided into zones, and each zone has the chance to become a conflict zone, okay, at certain times, which allows for PvP at that zone. And if the zones becomes a conflict zone, the players can kill each other and steal the trade packs, etc. And lastly, we have the guilds versus guilds content. So guilds are not implemented in game just yet, as we are running up for a closer beta. I believe it will come for the open beta. But I can give the spoiler that we have castles around the world, around the map, and the guilds can fight to dominate those castles to get some extra rewards from time to time. Okay, so that's how we have those 3 types of PvP content in Raven Quest. In my opinion, the 2 most important ones are, of course, guilds because of guild wars, and arena tournaments because I know players love it. But that's it.
Awesome. And do you guys plan on doing any type of esports or I know you guys have a Twitch set up and a YouTube set up, and you guys plan on doing content or are already doing content on both of those. Do you guys plan on doing any tournaments or esports?
Absolutely. Yeah, on the Twitch, we always do like AMAs with our creative director. He always like show up and talk a bit, chat with the community itself. It's very, very nice. And we are very, very interested in joining the sports scenario as well. Luis, you can talk more about that.
Yeah, we actually we already talked and are talking with even some pro teams where we can pro teams, guilds, where we will have these tournaments and have a rewards for it and the complete aspect, because we know that competitive games are one thing, PvP are another, but
Yeah.
we wanted to bring a more solid aspect of the game and show people that Web3 scenario is about everything that you can do on Web3 and more. So we even have exclusive content, exclusive rewards, exclusive NFTs for players that want to join arena tournaments, and even our own esports tournaments with pro teams and guilds going against each other, even from different regions.
And I believe we have like our first experience of these tournaments very soon here on the year.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, if you guys are watching the stream, once again, like I said, make sure you guys are in the Raven Quest Discord. Check out the website, follow them on Twitter, tune into their Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff. Stay up to date with Raven Quest. I'm excited to see how you guys, progress over the next year, 2 years in building the game, and when, the closed beta is out, the open beta, everything like that. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity of being here today talking about Raven Quest and the Web3 game scenario a bit. Thanks to all those who participated on the MA. And yeah, I would like to invite everyone participated to join our community, to download the demo already available on the website, so you can actually see and play the game and see how it feels, and explore more about the game with us. The CMs, me, we are always very active on Discord, so you are very welcome to ask any questions there.
All right.
Happy to
Awesome.
be here, guys. I echo what Neil said. Thank you very much, and hope to talk more and see everyone on our Discord.
Yep. Once again, thank you guys very much for coming on. Thank you guys for watching the show. I do appreciate it. We will be live again tomorrow at the same time, I believe, with Squishyverse. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Follow our stream and have a great rest of your day.
Yay. Thank you again. See you soon.
See ya.